it's okay for men to cry. It takes real men to cry, you know? A real man to cry. And it's... If you don't cry, you're not human, right?
This podcast is proudly supported by the Ōtara Network Action Committee, ōNAC, community-owned, community-driven and community-led.
Hello once again and welcome back to the We Are Ōtara podcast, sponsored by ōNAC. ōNAC, community-owned, community-driven, community-led. Now, we're doing another episode on Ruben Wiki, and you're probably wondering, why? Well, when we originally recorded the first episode, we thought that we had lost the footage because there was some technical difficulties behind the desk, and we thought that it glitched out and it didn't record. So we right away went into our second episode and recorded that, and it was all fine, and we got that nailed until a couple of days later, Will found out that the recording was actually saved and we had that recording. So we stuck with the first one and we recorded that out. Link will be on the description. So if you want to watch that, go ahead, go watch it. This is the second episode of Ruben Wiki's interview, and we wanted to share it out to you. So I hope you enjoy that double feature that you're going to get. So enjoy. So tell us about, about your upbringing. I hear that you're a Pearl boy.
I am. No, but I grew up in Ōtara. I actually we started in Kingsland.
Okay.
Everyone started, all the islanders started in Central, and then immigrated to South Auckland at the age of 5. Yeah. And did my schooling, Mayfield Primary, Bedens Intermediate, and then Hillary College, and right up till like 16 years old. Yeah. 2 other siblings, my sister Jermaine and brother David, raised by a strong Samoan woman, my mum. And in those times, the state houses and stuff, mum was working 2 jobs back in those days just to support us, put clothes on our back, food on the table. So I grew up pretty quick because I had to get the kids ready for school. So mum would be sleeping because she just did the night shift, have a sleep and then go to work later on, So it is what it is back in those days, eh?
Absolutely. I couldn't say it for myself, but I know that my brothers and my sisters, especially my 2 oldest, being Margaret and Michael, they would get the others ready, Andrea and Molly, to get ready to go to school. Yeah. Margaret, who also, like yourself, as a dropped out early, went to work for Bluebird Chips. And she basically helped out with just setting up lunches and whatnot. So that's how I understand from that perspective, because my sister Molly would tell me about her upbringing. With that said, you mentioned that you dropped out at 16. What did you end up doing after that?
So I'll just rewind a little bit. The reason why I sat my school C. Just missed out by a smidget, but just hanging with my mates and not going to school, mucking around, and the mum was, trying to find me. She couldn't find me. Then she found me and dragged me out of my mate's house and took me to school, and then gave me the old,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. But that was that was the turning point for me, because I took off after that, and I was like, my mum just hit me, and it's like, it was a shock. Then came back home, and we had a, Talanoa, and I said, I don't want to do school no more. So I ended up working with her for a while, in Mount Wellington, Ajax Chemicals, is the place, just, doing odd jobs around. Yeah. So, and then a year after that, I went to go find my own job at the steel mill. So, just wanted to help pay the bills and get ahead.
Nice. And would you say in between doing that work for yourself, you were still carrying on with your sports stuff, right?
Yeah, still playing rugby league. So, had that little, my first club at the Scorps from 5 to 10, sabbatical, had a little break, then went back to rugby league at 13. I went to play for Ōtara Leopards, but then kind of started getting looked at, with the rep footy with Auckland and junior Kiwis and stuff like that. Later on, and it was a massive process from 13 to 17, because they keep picking all the Glenora and the Marist and Point Chev, never kids from South Auckland. And that was the same realm as Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt was playing for Manganese Hawks.
Oh.
Yeah. OGs, bro. OGs, yeah. So we had some good clashes against old Manganese Hawks. I remember one all-in brawl against the Hawks, and he started it. Oh, Mark. And the whole crowd came in. It's not just the players, the crowd in there.
So let me get this straight. You faced the Super Samoan of UFC.
Which Samoan? Him or me? They're both Samoans.
Fair enough. I was like... It was like the whole Vegeta Biku thing, you know?
But that was the age, and we were South Auckland boys just playing league. Yeah. And I never thought he would be freaking K1 boxer back in those days, but he had no fear, that's for sure. But, he was big for Auckland teams when I left for Canberra. But, I look back when I catch up with him. Silly, remember those games? Those ones too. But, so... Rep footy started getting recognised as we got older. It was more the right place, the right time, bit of luck, and the scouts are out there, and so that was pretty cool. Ended up making my first Auckland team, and went from there after that.
So how was it like in terms of having a support system for you? It must have been a big change from where you were in the Leopards to going towards A grade league teams.
Yeah. I wanted to stay with my mates, play all the years with my mates, but they were pushing me to go play Prems. So I did that. So I went and played Prems for Ōtara and played with the likes of Richie Barnett and Richie Blackmore, Taura Nikau, all the legends of Ōtara. And it was the opportunity that started making more rep teams, and with the support from my boys from the young age. And so I said, get out of your comfort zone, go up there. I said, I don't want to go. But playing with the big boys now, So, and just went to another level. I thought I was fit, but it's kind of just went to another level. So I just trained harder on my own, just running the back streets of the creeks, trying to train on my own, tackle power poles and stuff like that, make the lights go out.
So, did you get that also? So you got that physical support. Did you get that mental health support? Because I know some players who go into professional now into that field of helping those in that field of mental health.
We didn't talk about that stuff. That was in those days, that mental stuff. We didn't even go there. We kind of just go for a run, or go play ball rush, just take a frustration out that way, we didn't have those kind of systems back then, and I was, I wish we had some stuff like that for women that were going through domestic violence back then. But it was the norms back then. You have your parties, you have your drinks, you have your smash ups. But there was I don't think there was anything like what it is now, with how many organizations are out there, So we didn't have that. We just teaspoon of concrete and hung up. Back in those days.
Yeah, and I find myself, I was born at the tail end of that thing, of that whole movement of just harden up.
Yeah.
I'm not ashamed to say that I was bullied when I was little.
Yep.
And every time when I get knocked down, my sister goes, just punch him in the mouth.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Just hit him back.
Yeah.
But in the back of my head, I'm going, I don't want to leave school. Because if I do hit him, that's my consequences out. That's it. I won't have the education that I'll get, and I'll be considered a bad as equally as bad as that person.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm just thinking about our youth, you know, who currently is going through that whole process. You know, what would you say to them would be a good way of having that moment of trying to avoid that action?
It is hard, man. Yeah. It's a hard one, but you know, the outlet. You need an outlet, and I think, you know, those bullies are concerned. My outlet was going on the tennis courts at the school, playing bull rush, playing brandy, tackling, something physical, you know, just doing something physical, but under, you know, within reasons. And it did help. It did help get through tough times during those days. And I think this is be the same for this generation, but you know, they're going to turn to alcohol or drugs, or because the peer pressure around them, you know, and it doesn't look cool if you're not drinking. Yeah. So they're just going to turn to the bottle or just to take the pain away, which is, it's not going to go away. It's just going to have a headache in the morning and it's still going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't, and they don't talk about it. So that's what we're trying to change, the dynamics of it. And being around the footy arena for so long and seeing it, you know, the racist stuff, like when I was in Australia, the social media stuff that like NRL players are caught up with, you know, with women and stuff like that, because, you know, there's a lot of fans out there and they just want a piece of the action by just a little bit of photo there, but that photo kind of turns into something else, you know. So I think it's kind of trying to be strong enough to stay the path, you know, because I'm not going to lie, there's temptations out there as a professional athlete, and it's more what the individual's thinking. Are they going to risk one moment for, you know, to ruin their whole life? Yeah. So it is a decision up to the person, but some of them get caught up in it.
Yeah,
which is sad.
You know, like we discussed earlier, I just met you, and again, I was thinking to myself, Ruben Wiki's here, and we go through the whole process of, this is Ruben, he's famous, he plays league. But what we don't do as humans is that this is my mate, he's going through troubles. And what should we do from here? Do we just walk away from them? So instead of me going, I need to learn about Ruben himself, how can we as people from the outside learn about their mate who's struggling? Or both male and female.
It is. It's a hard one. It's up to that person to actually agree to open up, you know, and hence why we created the men's space at the gym every Tuesday at 7:30, and it's been going 16 weeks now, and there's like 20 plus men that come in to share their story because they need to get it off their chest. There's a lot of business owners, there's a husband and wife, there's couples, and there's guys going through like just got so much stuff on their plate. How do they deal with all that and put a brave face on? So creating the barbershop talk at the gym on the Tuesday, they have that outlet to express, and safe, because it doesn't leave the doors. It stays all in there. And as I said before, we're not professionals. We're just professionals with the talingas, you know? Yeah. And that's the best cure for it. People listening to their story, having a cry, having a laugh, and it's okay for men to cry. It takes real men to cry, you know? Yeah. A real man to cry. And it's, if you don't cry, you're not human, right? But yeah, I think it's just like situations like that also, you know, the men's well-being, even a woman's well-being, you know, the woman there too. And because there's a lot of responsibilities on the females at home, keeping all the logistics side of things in place. Don't worry, I have one of those. She's from Tonganoa, just saying.
Hey.
But that's that yin yang,
Yeah.
the brains and the brawl of a relationship. But with the brawl side of things is the men being able to express, which we don't do much.
Yeah.
And even at my professional level, we deal with depression, especially when we come to the end of our career. What's next? Some of them go a different path and forget their legacy and get caught up in stuff, where others kind of just sit back and just work out a plan. What are we going to do next, and how we can give back to where we grew up. I never thought I'd be coming back to Ōtara, after being in Canberra for 12 years and then coming back to the Warriors. And yeah, I never thought I'd be coming home because my kids were born in Australia. They're both born in Canberra. So most of our life was in Canberra. That's where I learned the trade. And I thought I might be going back there. But next minute, got a gym in Ōtara. Right in the heart of the helicopters.
Yay!
Hey, far up. But home is home, and I'm safe. I feel safe because it's home.
Yeah, it's somewhere familiar for you.
Yeah. I walk down the street and it's all good, but just don't wear full on red, eh? I went for a walk the other day. I had a red t-shirt on, red shoes, walking back the creeks. A couple of cars slowed down, went past me, saw me. Oh, they recognised me. Oh, keep going, boys. I was like, oh, wow. So I said, oh, my gosh, not here, not now. Those it's changed.
If you can hear closely, you can hear Ruben's heart going.
That's my regular heartbeat.
It's just that you mentioned that you came back home and you feel at home. It's important because that also plays onto your mindset, right?
Yeah.
Just the settings and where you live in, and just the environment that you're in. I want to talk about my father real quickly. God rest his soul. My father believed before he had the whole change in terms of his behavior. I will on the record was, he was bad as what he was before then, but then he made up that time as slowly as possible with his actions, and he became very calm. He believed that with a good environment, keep everyone intact, and what I mean by keeping everyone intact is that everyone's got food in their belly. Everyone's got love in their heart, and just taken care of. If my brother who's down the road needs food, my dad would always drive up to them and go, "Hey, in English, meaning that here's food for you and here's money for your gas," and That's what we like to leave. That's what I feel like we should leave in terms of just a generation thing for those in the Ōtara.
So your dad chose to change his the legacy for him before he passed away, and that's been passed on to you guys, to pass on to your ainga, the extended family. So your dad chose to do that because he's seen what's happened in the generation prior to that, and that's just what I've seen, and you want to be the difference. I want to be the dad that my kids can call dad, because I didn't have a dad. So my mum was mum and dad, and I want to be a good dad, and to my wife, I want to be a good husband, a good friend, and that triggers or reflects on everything I do. So I'm always conscious of what I'm doing, and because I'm always in the public eye. Even though you're 49, I'm saying, oh man, is that Ruben Wiki? Yeah, that's right, I'm still here. But it's more than just the name. It's we talk about the layers. It's getting to know the person and what we're trying to achieve here on Earth while we're still here, and when we go, it's left in a good place, you know? Yeah.
And this is what I believe in with doing this podcast and going back to those layers, is that with every episode, with every guest, especially like yourself, going back to what I said earlier, is that, oh, it's Ruben Wiki. Oh my God. But then remembering that I did an episode previously on my own podcast and meeting Tox Whale, you both are idols to my eyes. But at the same time, I have to step back as that person going, okay, they're just humans.
Yeah.
Talk to them.
Yeah.
You will learn everything about them. And it's like what we said before, is learn about that person from the inside. So peel those layers away so we can get to the core and have that understanding of it.
Because everyone's got a different journey, right?
Yeah.
And different story. You know, and I spoke before about Kevin Mealamu. He's another one you guys should get on here. And he's a local, and man, love that guy, bro. You know, he's been to the top of the hill, man, with the All Blacks and what he's achieved, and you know, he's still doing the same thing with his gym. So, you know, and talk about this men's program. My cousin, you know, reconnecting with my cousin Anthony Stowers. It's, you know, he's the barbershop, owns a barbershop. Wanted to create a space for men. You know, he's out. He just got back from Canada. Like for 2 weeks, he went to like a actual reserve, like Indian reserve, where you couldn't use like deodorant, couldn't use soap. So they're still living, you know, primal, man. And a bit of a wake up call that he took our barbershop with him, Talanoa, and put like a presentation. And they said, well, there's no one that is educated on this level. We just chew the fat. And they go, what? All the people around the world came to this seminar, and we had no professionals in that one. Just men having a bit of a, you know, talanoa and solving problems ourselves, you know, without the help of, you know, your psychs and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
And that's the basis of what a good core and structure is. And we talked about this a while ago.
Yeah.
You know, we can go through all the means, which is not bad. We can talk to psychologists, we can talk to counselors, and that's a good thing. I highly recommend that you do it. I went through it as well. I suffer from my own demons, my own mental health. But going back to unwrapping everything that's got to do with counseling and psychology and everything that's got to do with your mental well-being, it starts with the communication. And it doesn't matter who it is or what qualification they have. It's that person that you talk to, and if they can, and if you can connect with them, and that's the important thing.
And this is what we spoke about. It's just more don't worry about the qual side of things, because, you know, there's those steps past that. You just listen to the story first. And the manireo marae have all those in place if you need it. But first, let's just have a chat, break those layers down, and just talk, you know, amongst men. And there were some real harsh stories too. But they'll be shared with that group only. It doesn't go outside the doors. And that's why they keep coming back. You know, it doesn't go like social media. We plug our photo, that's about it. And it gets out there, someone shares a story, then they find out about it, then they come to the gym.
From what I'm hearing, it's based on trust. And that's a core structure that we need in our lives, is that trust and realism.
Yeah, no structure at all, man. It's like, okay, how was your week? Organic, we call it organic.
Yeah.
Organic at the hay.
Nice.
Yeah, simple.
So with that organic, I'm going to organically go into the next part of my conversation, and sadly come to an end.
Oh, we finished already, mate?
Yeah. Like all good things that come to people, and they come into most vital times in their lives. Could you give us a quote or something that you've heard in your life that's inspired you to share to our listeners?
Yeah, there is a couple. As I mentioned before, I'm on my journey with Ngana Samoa. So one of them was Ele tū whaamaunga se tangata no man or woman stand alone like an island. And the other one is from the Mad Butcher himself.
Hey.
The best gift you can give anyone is your time.
And that's beautiful, man. And you've given us our your time to us, and we're going to value that and treasure it as long as we are here.
Take yours.
Thank you so much, man.
My man.
And once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did, and we'll see you in the next episode.